Okay, today we're going to work on some stretches for low back tightness or any pain you could be suffering. So the first movement we're doing here is a cat-cow stretch. You're going to start on your hands and your knees with your wrists directly under your shoulders and your knees directly under your hips. Inhale as you arch your back, dropping your belly towards the ground and lifting your head and tailbone. This is the cow pose. As you exhale, round your spine towards the ceiling, tucking your chin towards your chest and bringing your tailbone towards your knees. This is cat. Repeat these movements for several breaths, flowing smoothly in between the two poses. If you don't have a ton of range of motion, it's not a big deal. Just do the best you can, and as you breathe and move, everything will loosen up. Okay, then we're just going to take it back into a child's pose. Now, please note my form in this video is not ideal as I'm actually in pain as I'm recording. But from your hands and knees, you're going to bring your big toes together and widen your knees towards the edges of your mat. Lower your hips towards your heels and stretch your arms out in front of you, resting your forehead on the mat. Stay here for a few breaths, focusing on deepening your breath and releasing any tension in your hips and low back. Okay, now we're going to be moving into an upward pigeon pose. You're gonna bring your right knee towards your right wrist and slide your left leg back. Straighten your right leg as much as possible, keeping your foot flexed. And if you like, you can place a block or a folded blanket under your right hip if needed. Inhale as you lengthen your spine and exhale. And you can slowly kind of move forward. Just keep moving till you feel the best spot for that stretch. You can stay here for several breaths before we take it into the sleeping pigeon pose. Okay, so for sleeping pigeon pose, we're going to release our upper body down towards the mat and stretch your arms out in front of you. Rest your forehead on your hands or a block and allow your body to fully relax. Stay here for several breaths, focusing on relaxing your hips and low back. And then once you're done this side, you can repeat on the other side. Okay, you're going to very carefully and slowly come out of that pigeon pose. And then just pop back into child's pose for a few more breaths just to kind of relax everything. Okay, you can slowly come out of your child's pose. You're going to roll onto your back and hug your knees into your chest. This is for a ball pose. So you're going to wrap your arms around your shins. You can rock gently from side to side, massaging your low back. Just do whatever feels good here. And now we're going to take it into a figure 4 stretch. So you're going to cross your left, you're going to release your left leg straight out onto the mat and cross your right ankle over your left thigh, flexing your right foot. Reach your hands through your legs and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh, pulling your knee towards your chest. I also kind of like to use my elbow that's up against my leg that's crossed over to kind of add some added pressure in there. It gives you more of a stretch in your hips. So you're going to hold this for a few breaths. Okay, now you're going to do a supine twist. So you're going to bring your knee, you're going to release the figure 4 and bring your knee across your body towards the other side of your mat. So that foot that's crossed over should be going across and touching the ground on the other side. You want to keep your shoulder blades on the ground as much as you can, and you're going to look in the opposite direction of the side that your foot is down on the ground. You're going to stay here for several breaths, feeling that stretch through your spine. Once we're done, we're going to repeat the twist on the other side, as well as the figure 4 stretch. You're going to slowly release that twist. Again, if you want, just hop into another little ball pose, kind of release things, massaging your back against the ground. And across the other leg over, grab through that leg, interlacing your fingers behind your thigh. I'm going to hold this for a few breaths. Okay, now you're going to bring your knee across your body, placing that foot towards the ground, keeping your shoulder blades on the ground as much as possible, and looking in the other direction. You're going to hold this for a few breaths. And when you're done, slowly come out of it. Do another ball pose and a child's pose if you like. Make sure all that tension is released.